Hi, welcome back to another episode of Bros Talk Football. This is week 6 where we're going to recap week 5 and look ahead to what we have to do to get our squads and your squads in the right position. I'm Andre, Dre Gothams, and unfortunately my squad, Jack Package, lost. And we are now 3-2. Ace, how's your squad do?
Well, my name is Ace. Follow me at Instagram, Boom It's Ace. My team name is That Base Life. We unfortunately took a very, very close loss. The score was 112 to 112.85. So I lost by 0.85. My record is now 3-2. So I took an L.
I took an L. I'm John, JB Trey, DC Buckethead on Instagram. Just gotta stop the bleeding sooner or later.
Still bleeding, huh?
Now wipe yourself off. You're bleeding.
It was pretty rough. Played Peyton.
Oh, yeah.
He killed it.
Yeah, it's pretty much
automatic.
I thought you played Romo, but
No, I beat the guy in every category, like all my wide receivers, all my running backs, and I didn't even have Doug Martin. Everyone else scored his team. It's just Brady gave me 5 points. Peyton gave him 35.
Yeah.
I lost by 10.
It seems like your season is really hurting based off of the injuries of New England Patriots. I'm sure a lot of people's teams are suffering from Brady's lack of production, which has got to be in correlation to no Gronk.
On the flip side, Gronk is coming back this week. Daniel Amendola did kind of play. So,
yeah,
true.
Hopefully, with a week practice together, to build up the chemistry again. Hopefully that can help out Tom Brady's numbers in fantasy. Fantasy owners can, go back to relying on Tom Brady.
Again, always start your starters. Stuck with my guys.
Wait. Don't. I think they're bringing up the always start your stars. Go ahead, guys. Get it out your system.
You do always. It made me think, number one rule, always start your starters. Like, it really gets frustrating when you're second guessing yourself. 1 week you're starting one guy. The bench guy has a hot game, so next week you go with him, and then your guy starting, who's on the bench, then blows up. So I think you should always start your starters.
Definitely.
Let me run that back for you.
Unfortunately, the reason why I lost was because I didn't start my starters.
That's the number one rule, we think, in fantasy football.
We talked about it last week.
You always start your starters.
Let me run that back for you.
Russell Wilson gave me 14 points week 1, 18 points week 2, 31 points on my bench week 3. I don't care. Okay, so let me explain to you what happened. I'll take that. I played Sam Bradford. He played Jacksonville. He gave me 28.65 points.
Not bad.
Good job, Sam Bradford. But once again, I did lose by 0.85. Russell Wilson put up 34 points. Wilson!
Wilson! Wilson! Wilson!
Where was he? He was on the bench.
On the bench.
On the bench. But like I said, I did play the matchup with Bradford and Jacksonville, but
playing the matchup.
Always start your starters.
Always start your starters.
I guess.
Always.
This happened, I think, a couple weeks ago, right? You had him on the bench when he scored 30.
And I think that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm gonna put him on my bench, and then secretly, right before we have to submit at 10 o'clock on Sunday, I'm gonna just switch him out and put him right on the starting lineup because I think Russell. I know you're watching me. Keep up the good work, but I had you on the bench and you did score 34 points for me, so that's probably why I lost by 0.85.
Russell's playing Madden with Kaepernick now.
He's too busy.
And he has us on in the background on his computer and say, "Man, look at this knucklehead for here doesn't even start me."
Kaepernick's like, you gonna let that fat Asian guy push on the bench?
Kaepernick with one eyebrow.
Exactly.
So you mentioned that big news that just happened. Julio Jones is down, and in an already much beleaguered squad, the Wrath of Khan. who's still bleeding.
Bleeding.
He needs some Neosporin. Now you lose your biggest
lost my
scorer,
number one.
second biggest scorer, but your most consistent.
Yeah, definitely the most consistent. Carries me every week. My number one wide receiver.
Clearly. Number one in the league almost, right? Like
He was number one for receiving.
yes,
He was number one in
definitely.
receiving. Not as far as fantasy points. I think Demaryius Thomas had more fantasy points because of the touchdowns. But he had the most receiving yards. He even had 99 yards. Like, oh my God, he's a stud.
Oh,
But-
I mean, quick question for you. Like, with Julio Jones going down, as far as like the Atlanta Falcons, do you think that's gonna, bring up the stock for Tony G? This guy Harry Douglas, who's available on the waiver wire right now. Do you think his stock is gonna go up? Do you think he's gonna get some of the looks?
Ryan has to air it out to someone, and for sure those guys are gonna get more targets just because of the less is more, one less guy, more targets for them.
Okay.
But their season is almost gone.
Would you
Yeah,
say that they're also bleeding?
They're bleeding.
They're in a bad. We're in this. Atlanta and I have the same amount of wins.
Okay.
So
that's true. Which is very surprising.
Which is
no one thought they were
very-
going to
no one.
have
Yeah,
one
they
and
were
four.
ranked number one with
Okay.
what, season or two ago?
Yeah, I mean they lost their starting running back Steven Jackson.
Right.
Unfortunately, stud. Roddy White hasn't been Roddy White of
Correct.
old,
He has an injury.
and I think Julio Jones had this injury. Not just he had it basically the whole season. He was kind of battling through it, and I guess he just
Re-aggravated.
yeah
probably.
exactly. He just probably hurt it to a point where he can't play.
Mm.
Matt Ryan's still Matt Ryan. He's still good. He's still gonna, have his completion percentage. Still gonna find guys. It's just when you don't have the talent,
Yeah.
you can't do it. They really don't have a run game. I know Jacquizz kind of did his thing, but
And didn't Snelling go out during the game?
oh, that's right. Goodness gracious, they're just
They're in the crunch.
yeah. They're definitely the crunch team right now.
I think it's going to hurt Tony G.
Oh, yeah.
And
Double
Roddy,
teams.
for all the targets, for all the attention a player like Julio Jones gets, that makes things open up for other players. Like you see a lot of teams, or a lot of other squads, like Andre Johnson will gather a lot of attention. So Owen Daniels gets a bunch of targets.
Who broke his leg? Out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
So now Andre Johnson's screwed.
And you can blame Julio Jones for that too, somehow. But so I think it's just gonna the squad was already struggling. They're 1-4. I think it's just gonna be worse. I'd stay away from them. If we're looking at pickups for this, you had a great roll of the dice. What happened with that?
Last
Cashed
week
in.
I did say that Justin Blackman was my waiver wire roll of the dice.
Get it.
He came in. I think he had 130 plus yards and he had a touchdown.
And touchdown, yeah, no, very solid numbers.
Once again, his quarterback is not that reliable, so I don't know where week after week if he's going to be producing the same amount of points. But
Right.
A
he's
third
literally-
wide
he's
wide
literally-
receiver, flex position, I can see.
But
him.
he's literally their only offense out of
You know what?
Jacksonville.
Cecil Shorts.
Good job. Yeah. That was a great call. I'm gonna
Cecil
go.
who?
Cecil Shorts. He's been fine the whole season that Black
What team
hasn't-
does he play for?
For Jacksonville.
Well, his season just became short.
No,
Justin
he's
Blackman's going to take all of his licks.
But-
I get it. It's short because now Blackman's back.
Yeah.
not
He's gonna
because
take
he's
it.
short himself.
He is also short himself. I'm pretty sure. I think he.
Are you trying to help out the guy, or are you just trying to diss him? It
no.
sounds like you're bringing him up and you're talking smack about him. I don't get.
Jacksonville's playing Denver this week. Don't
I don't get
start anyone from
Yes,
Jacksonville.
so
Fair enough.
Don't start anyone from Jacksonville.
But
maybe
Period.
Blackman. I don't know.
to take
The
Ace's,
defensive Blackman.
I'm going to take Ace's lead and follow his example. I'm going to go with a waiver pickup roll of the dice, and I'm going to say Fitzpatrick from Tennessee.
Wow.
I've always liked him. He does have a tendency to turn the ball over, but if you can get him on days where he doesn't have 3 picks, he's going to be standard up there with 300 yards passing, or as you've seen, 50 yards rushing and diving,
Oh,
flipping
yeah.
over fools. That's what I like. I don't know if you have any other waiver pickups that you're looking at, or you're trying to settle in with your squads now?
Well, just from watching past couple weeks, a guy that just whenever, I'm hanging out with the bros and we're all watching Red Zone or what have you, this guy there,
Shout out Red Zone, by the way.
shout out Red Zone, hashtag.
Did you see
But
this?
Pettis from St. Louis has been getting a lot of touchdowns, and a bunch of guys who have, Tavon Austin,
Quick, was it? No? Brian Quick?
Jared Cook is their tight end. Like, he's got
Jared
a
who?
touch.
Jared.
Jared Cook. Oh, kill him.
Gotta cook it.
Kill
Gotta
him.
cook it.
But I mean, we're watching the games and they're like, oh yeah, Tavon, Chris Givens,
And then, oh, who's that?
Pettis?
Who's that? Oh, no.
that helped no one.
Didn't he retire?
No.
Oh, no, that was the
Jerome
bus.
Bettis?
Jerome Bettis.
No,
Okay.
Pettis, not Jerome.
How did-
Oh, okay.
How did Bettis get touchdowns? I thought, like, isn't he a running back?
No, that was Richard Simba, who's also gone.
Wait.
I mean, like, as far as the waiver wire of the week, or whether you guys figure out who Bettis and Pettis is.
Pettis.
You know, he was talking about how Owen Daniels did go down with a broken leg injury, 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Garrett Graham is going to get some of those looks, so he's another tight end to look at. If you're
Heath
looking-
Miller. Heath Miller's
Miller.
back and healthy, so he's definitely gonna help out the Steelers.
Another wide receiver that I'd want to talk about is Terrence Williams. You know, Miles Austin has been battling that hamstring
still hasn't
injury.
come back. Always. every
He only
year.
had 4 targets, and he caught all four of those, and he
Okay.
had 151 yards plus a touchdown. I think him and Roma are building up a chemistry. He's looking pretty good. His production's been picking up week after week. So, Terrence Williams is somebody if you want to, I mean, we're never going to fill in the spot for Julio Jones, but if you're looking for a wide receiver to kind of fill in for right now, I know, Terrence Williams. But
Yeah.
also another running back. I'm giving you guys a whole full lineup of waiver wire picks.
Get him.
Zach Stacy.
Get him.
Yeah, definitely.
St. Louis, I mean, I know their running game is not all that great. Daryl Richardson is also out, for I think a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Stacy,
They kind of gave up on him too.
Yeah, they're really high up on Zach Stacy. So I mean, I think he had 14 carries for like 78 yards.
Wait, who?
Zach Stacy, 2 first names. But yeah,
Automatic Boston if you have 2 first names.
so
Another thing that I think about is Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. This whole season, for those, a lot of people have been going with Geo Dude.
Geo, dude, come back to this side.
yeah.
Help us move this pile of rocks.
And, people were saying, stay away from Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. This rookie's going to come in and he's going to get more touches, which ended up actually happening.
Yeah.
And then last week, Ben Jarvis had more touches.
Yeah.
He got a touchdown, and it seemed like there's this kind of ebb and flow and this up and down going on in Cincinnati in their run game. So if you are in a stretch, you're pretty thin, pick up the law firm and see what happens.
The
That's
law
another
firm.
option.
I am the law.
On that note, we're going to say thank you for watching. As always, feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe. If you guys have any questions on whom you should start or who you should bench, let us know, and we will be glad to hook it up. Come back next week and see how it goes. Tony Hobo?
Romo.
Wilson! I'm sorry! I'm sorry, Wilson! Wilson, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Wilson! I can't! Wilson!